Good morning. Let me tell you a quick story about a Confederate soldier on a hilltop. A whole regiment of Yankee soldiers coming up against him. The regiment looks up there, and the colonel sees that there one Confederate soldier, and he's looking over the edge. He tells them, said, "Five of you go up there and get that man down there. We're going to take this hill." And so they took off up there, and they all get wiped out. The whole five of them get wiped out. He said, "Well, I don't understand that." I said, "You 10 go up there and get that one Confederate soldier down from there." And so they take off up the hill, and they get just about there, and they get completely wiped out. And he said, "Well, this don't make any sense at all." So he finally done that time and time again. He sent the whole regiment. He said, "Go up there and get that boy down there." And so he took off up. They all went up there. And sure enough, they got almost to the top, but they got completely wiped out, all but one man. And that one man come running back down the hill, and he was hurt and wounded, and he fell in the colonel's arms. And the colonel said, "I don't understand this." Said, "I sent my whole regiment up the hill." And he said, "Sir, it was a trap. There was two of them." Now, that's just a funny little story. And if you're from the north, you tell it your way. You switch it around. I don't care. It's just a story. But I said that to get to this. Elisha is a story in the Bible. 2 Kings tells the story of Elisha and his servant being in a little town getting surrounded. See, the Syrian army come up against Israel. They fully intended to take them. They fully intended to ambush them, and they tried many times. And every time they tried to ambush them, Israel wouldn't go that way. They'd go a different way. They'd know for sure what was going to happen, and it wouldn't happen that way. And they didn't understand it, and the Syrian king was starting to get very upset about that, and he said, "There's got to be a spy that's telling on us, Lord. There's got to be a mole or something that's in my outfit that's telling what I've got planned." And one of his men said, "No, sir, that's not it." He said, "They got Elisha." So that's the problem. And he said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Elisha knows everything you say and everything you do. His God's telling him. His God's telling him everything you say in your bedchamber, so there's nothing you can keep secret from him that his God don't know and that he's passing on to Elisha." And he said, "Well, I got to get rid of this Elisha then." So he sent his whole army, Lord, or to get Elisha. He sent them after to get Elisha. And they found him in this little town, and they had him all surrounded. And nowhere left for him to go. Had it choked out. There was nowhere left for Elisha to go. And Elisha woke up that morning. His servant woke up. And I can just picture Elisha, and he was probably stretching and, trying to get this day going, getting his cup of coffee fixed, getting it ready, or, whatever, getting his breakfast, I don't know, scrambled eggs, whatever he eat. And his servant seen that this was surrounded by the Syrian army, and he said, "Man, we in trouble now. We've had it. We've had it. There's nowhere left for us to go, Elisha. We've done." And Elisha looks out and sees them, and he says, "Boy, you just still don't understand, do you?" And he said, "You don't understand." He said, "There's more that be with us than there is that be with them." And he prayed that God would open his eyes. And God opened the servant's eyes, and he looked around, and all about the hills, all around that town, was God's army. Chariots of fire. And he said, "See there? There's nothing that this world can do against you. There's nothing this world can do against me, as long as we got God on our side." Well, he done that. Syrian army couldn't see him. They come on in to get Elisha. When they come in to get Elisha, he prayed that God would blind them. And sure enough, he blinded the whole army. And Elisha told them, said, "This ain't where you're supposed to be." He said, "Come on, I'll show you." And he leads them right in to Samaria, the capital of Israel. And he says, "All right, God, open their eyes." And they open their eyes, and there they are, surrounded by all of the Israelites. The whole army is encamped now around, stuck in the capital. What a place to be. Imagine being that little soldier that, was just a nobody, but you just one of the foot soldiers or whatever, and all of a sudden you open your eyes and you're stuck in the middle of there. You know your life's over. You're nobody important to start with. You know they're going to kill you. But Elisha didn't do that. He told the king, said, "No, don't kill them." He said, "You feed them, you feast, build them back up, give them strength and everything, and then you send them home." And that's exactly what they done. They sent them back home. They showed grace and they showed mercy. This was an army that had come out to destroy them. But it showed grace and mercy and sent them back home. That Syrian army never bothered them again. Now there's a point to all that. There's a good point. One, no matter what it looks like to the world, no matter what it looks like around you, no matter what kind of problem you're going through, finances, troubles in your life, sicknesses, it makes no difference because there is nothing that can come against you that God ain't bigger than. He's already got it whooped. Nowadays it's COVID this and COVID that, and God has already got it whooped. We live by faith and not fear because we know and we can see past what man can see. We can see past what is going on around us if we just look through God's eyes and see that He's already figured it out. It was figured out from the time it began, from the foundations of the earth. It was already planned out. There is nothing that can come against us that can overcome us. God shows mercy and grace and gives us grace and mercy. And with that, we've got His army. We're part of His army. When somebody comes up against you and you're a child of God, you're not taking them on by yourself. We don't war against people anyway. We war against principalities and evil things. And when the devil comes up against you, if you're a child of God, then you got the right to tell him to get on the move. You got the right to stand face forward to him and tell him you can't come past here in the name of Jesus, and you can send him on his way. Because there's a lot more with us than there is with him. There's a lot more power with us than there is with them. And if we'd just keep that in mind, if we could just get that in our heads to where we could keep that in mind and remember that, we wouldn't have to worry about so much, and we wouldn't think about so many things and keep us awake at night worrying about things, because God has already got us. It's already been done and it's already been won. The battle's won. It's already ours. Thank the Lord for grace and mercy. And thank the Lord for giving us strength. Again, my name's Joe High, and I hope that you'll hit the like button and comment and do all that kind of stuff. Subscribe if you would, and you know, who knows, maybe get 6 or 7 people subscribing. I got 5 right now, so who knows, might have 6 or 7 people subscribe. But thank y'all so much for watching. I hope I didn't get too long-winded, but I do think it's a great story of understanding that God has got us. The world cannot come against us and overcome us because God is already greater. Thank you so much. Have a great day.